Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Let's Dev, where today we're finishing a project inspired by Power Wash Simulator and a really weird video I saw on the internet. So if you missed part 1, check out the madness that led us to where we are today, because we're not wasting any more time and getting right into the coding. Let's finish this thing. Alright, here we are, day 2. So in between videos I made a few quality of life changes, just splotches of paint all over the toilet for some odd reason. We won't ask questions. I also made some changes to the code to add some classification to our dirt. We're also going to use it to do the splatter effect. So indeed, because effect number 1 is the dirt, effect number 2 will be the golden shower, which shall be drawn based on the mouse's position when we do a left click. Then we need to macro the second layer, so we'll call it mask. So now that we got that set up, we need to define which surface we want to draw to based on the type of effect that we spawn. So it's ST for surface type. Type equals 0, that means that's the splat effect. Our surface will be the mask. If not, then it is the dirt surface. Dirt surface, not dit. Alright, so that is set up. Now we need to also draw the new surface. Okay, so if this all works, when we left click with the mouse, we shall create a splat effect that will draw to our mask, that will delete parts of it, that will show the golden part, the golden toilet, in place of the dirty white toilet. That did not work. Okay, gotta figure out where I went wrong. Oh no, I know why I'm confusing myself. God dang it, we need another layer. The mask has to be surface 4. Okay, I think that's why I'm confusing myself. So we load the first surface into the second surface, and then we mask it. And then we draw the masked surface. Okay, not okay. We might not need the offset. I think we just need the XY, and then the offset is already done. Yes! I knew we had it. Let me just clean this toilet. Oh, so good. Look at that, it's all turning gold with a click of my button. Look at that. Woo! Such a 12-year-old. Let's add a new variable called speed, and let's go random. Now we're gonna choose to either delete it immediately or after some time. Let's go random. Then for every frame, we're going to do a whole bunch of stuff. First, we're going to move it in a random direction, and at the same time, we're going to shrink the size of our dot, of our circle. Ooh, that was interesting to see. Let's see that again. Whoop, whoop. No, the dirt, it grows. We need to add a check here for the type. Nice. So we get a little variation on our spray effect. I think we can do better than that though. So what's odd is that it's always spawning at a weird angle like this, even though I've told the game to be like, hey, you can choose from 0 to 360, which means it can do a whole 360, but it's sort of just, it's doing the whole diagonal thing. That's weird. Oh yeah, I wonder why it's so weird. Maybe it's because I'm using the wrong check here. It should be a length through Y, not X. There you go. Now that's more like it. Now we've got some actual variation in our spray effect. Now it's looking more like what I was hoping for. Oh my goodness, I always do that. I seriously always do that, and it is so annoying. So I mean, technically, you know, we could call it there. We technically got the effect done. Well, we gotta make this a game, so we need to actually add an actual mechanic to this thing, especially if we're trying to make it like something like Power Wash Simulator. So in order to do that, we're going to need a system to check for the toilet. Now, checking for each and every pixel would ruin the game's performance, so instead we'll break down our toilet image into tiny squares using a hidden grid. Now, there are many ways that we could attempt this, but I'm gonna go with something straightforward, which is to create a physical grid of squares. The toilet sprite will be placed on top of that grid and then literally traced. The data for the shape of the toilet will be recorded and then it will all be deleted. Alright, so we're gonna need a couple new variables. Then we make the grid. Okay, so we create a loop and then we create a grid object for each cell in that grid. Okay, so we created the grid. Now we need to create the toilet, which we are going to trace. Then with the grid objects, that means we are touching the toilet, which means that we are part of the trace. Okay, I'm gonna give myself a debug toggle just so we can make sure everything is working properly. Okay, so nothing so far, that's fine. If I hit tab, we should see an outline of a toilet. What did I do? So I used the wrong variable. Almost. I know why. We only need one version of the toilet. Then we're gonna give this a a precise collision. Boom. There we go. Hallelujah. It works. So we're gonna convert the mouse's position down into something that we can read through the grid. And because we're so far off from where I estimated this project to take in terms of time, we're just gonna go with something simple here. We're gonna set a region based on the mouse's position. Click and boom. Okay, so that little region has now been cleared in the overall grid space. Boom, 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 boom. Then we've got many little spots. So when we destroy the object, let's just copy this, make it easier on myself so I don't make any more typos. Hopefully, fingers crossed. We're gonna take those coordinates and then turn them into grid positions. So theoretically, what this should do is basically do the same thing as a mouse, except do it the size of the circle that spawns our spray effect. We'll see. Okay, it works a little too well, but it works. And size, I think we need to also divide the size, maybe by 8. So that actually works. So the more we spray, the more we delete. Boom, and it works just like it works in conjunction with the spray effect itself. So when we spray, it goes as far as the spray does. That is cool. This actually worked out way better than I anticipated, especially given how many road bumps and stupid things that have been happening this entire project. This is actually really good. So I know what you're probably asking yourself, how exactly does this turn into an actual functioning game? Alright, so with that done, we now need to add our win condition, which is fairly simple actually. Let's just do a grid check. I think it's get min? Yes, okay. So if grid check equals 0, then we need a win condition. That is also an oversight that I forgot to think about. So we're just gonna do something real quick. Win equals false. We have not won yet. Then win is true. Okay, let's see if that works. Wait, nope. Okay, well, yep, the screen works. We're not checking for the min, we're checking for the max. So let's clean this up. Swish, swish, swish. Squirt, squirt, squirt. Okay, and we should be able to win in... Yeah, there we go! We completely cleaned the toilet and won! Yes! Alright, so I don't even know what this video has become by now, but I have one more idea that I want to pursue. So we're gonna add a mode to this. That's right, we've got another mode. So, we need to check for the mode. So this will be the default spray mode. Then this one is going to be much simpler. So mode 1 is going to be a gold paper version of this whole effect. So we're also going to need another variable for mouse angle. Then the angle for whatever we spawn will need to use this angle. Then in a check for the mouse right click, we'll do 5. Then, in the draw event, let's see. If mode equals 1, draw a sprite that is the gold paper. So when we test this, we should see a golden rectangle follow the mouse. Okay, and we can rotate it. Nice. If I click, it's gonna probably break, right? Ooh, nope, that did not do what I thought it would do. It's a spray effect, but with the paper. So if it's 2, we need it to just do a blackout, not draw the actual sprite. Oh, snap. Okay, wait. Kind of doing the opposite of what I expected. Okay. Oh my god, my brain is frying. So I mean, you know, if we wanted to say, hey, that's a sponge actually, we just cleaned up the entire toilet. Cool. That's not what we're doing. Alright, I know why this is happening. I unfortunately cannot do some shorthands here. Okay, we gotta reverse this. There we go. Okay. So it's basically the paper version of the splatter. But it's not affecting the grid. So that's what we need to code next. And boy howdy, is this one gonna be a doozy. Else, if type equals 2. Y'all ready for this? Because it's about to get crazy. First things first is converting the B boxes. The B box is basically the outline of our sprite. And now we're going to need another loop. So theoretically what this should do is take the position and angle of the rectangle little gold paper thing and pretty much do the exact same thing as the spray, but just do it with the paper. So bam. That did not work. So if that is the case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just define everything. So this should theoretically give us what we need because I'm defining the angle. I'm defining the index. Okay, we got it. There we go. Okay, it's not perfect. I mean, it does pretty well, as you can see. It's kind of got the outlines going, but if it's like, you know, if you're at like a 45-degree angle, then it's gonna do like a whole bunch more than you expect, but I'm gonna take it. That is a win in my book. So if we keep scrubbing, eventually we should win. Yes? We won! Woo! I should be able to toggle between modes. And it does this. Yeah, look at that. So we can spray with the golden shower if we want. Or we can switch to the golden paper. And it all works with our grid. Yeah. So the whole reason that I even did the paper thing was because I was going to do the whole thing like, well, if this was an actual video game, then the whole point of it would be to use the paper, and then you would have to try to cover the entire toilet with as little gold paper as possible. Boom! We won. Yes, we have turned our dirty white toilet into a golden masterpiece, and we have won at life. Fantastic. That was one heck of a project. And what was meant to be a simple little idea ended up being like so much more thanks to a ton of unexpected bumps, like throwing us for loop after loop. But in the end, we managed to create just what I planned for, and that's a game about cleaning toilets with the power of a shower, of the golden variety. And again, the original idea isn't off the table. I've actually been wanting to do a 2D version of Viscera Cleanup forever now. And honestly, if I can remember all of the quirks that threw us off for this time around, perhaps that project will go a lot smoother. Anyway, with that said, I hope you enjoyed this weird little project, and if you did, be sure to hit that like button. Also, be sure to subscribe and hit that bell for more. And let me know what you thought of the project, or what I could have done differently in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.